What's up everyone, PixarDonks here bringing you another Destiny 2 build guide. The first ever exotic void hand cannon was added to the game in the Monument of Triumph update, and the Turncoat does not disappoint. Pairing the Turncoat with the Loreley Splendor Helm is a powerful combination, and when mixed with the right aspects, fragments, and artifact mods, your Titan will become an explosive force of solar and void energy. Become unkillable and unstoppable with the explosive Solar Titan build. Today's build focuses on the Solar subclass due to our exotic of choice, the Loreley Splendor Helm. Solar also provides the Radiant and Restoration buffs, powerful abilities that will augment our playstyle. Your Super, Barricade, Lift, and Grenade are all personal preference within this build, but I highly recommend the Mini Hammer as your melee in order to easily proc the Radiant buff. Healing Grenade is also a very viable option within more difficult content where survivability is at a premium. Your first aspect should be Sol Invictus in order to create the Solar Titan's iconic sunspots. Sunspots are extremely powerful, providing ability regeneration, increased super uptime and restoration when standing in one, as well as scorching any enemies that enter. We can easily create a singular sunspot using the Loreley Splendor Helm, but Sol Invictus allows us to create many sunspots upon ability final blows or defeating a scorched enemy. Your second aspect is personal preference, although I went with Roaring Flames, stacking our mini hammer damage with each successive kill. Your first fragment should be Ember of Solace, providing increased uptime on the Radiant and Restoration buffs. Ember of Empyrean allows mini hammer to extend the times of Restoration and Radiant, while Ember of Torches allows us to gain Radiant on mini hammer hit. Your last fragment is personal preference, although I went with Ember of Resolve for an additional layer of survivability, triggering Cure on grenade final blows. For this build, I decided to reach 100 class and 100 weapons before dumping the rest of my points into melee. Loreley Splendor Helm is an important part of the build, so we want to have as much class ability uptime as possible. More damage on the mini hammer and our weapons never hurts as well. My armor set recommendation for this build is a full 4-piece set of the U Technology armor. The 2-piece bonus of this set allows us to spawn a Void Breach whenever we rapidly defeat combatants with Void Energy. The Turncoat excels at exploding large groups of enemies, making this perfect. The 4-piece bonus of this set triggers after collecting a Void Breach, causing our next final blow with a Void weapon to trigger a detonation, adding even more to the explosive power of Turncoat. Our exotic armor of choice is the Loreley Splendor Helm, which creates a sunspot whenever we cast our barricade or reach critical health. This exotic provides a ton of survivability and pairs extremely well with the Turncoat thanks to its drawback of self-damaging your character. Stay in the Turncoat's alternate fire mode as long as you want, as you will eventually trigger the Loreley Sunspot and heal back to full. Take double Void Siphon as well as hands-on for increased super energy on mini hammer kill. Impact induction and heavy-handed on the arms complements the mini hammer as well, while stacks on stacks and time dilation on our legs and mark provide increased uptime on our void weapon surges. Our exotic weapon of choice in this build is the Turncoat exotic hand cannon. Turncoat's intrinsic perk builds latent power upon dealing damage or defeating combatants. Once this bar is charged, you can activate the weapon to trigger unleashed power, empowering our shots to become explosive and weakening, as well as increasing rate of fire and hipfire accuracy. The downside of this weapon is that staying in unleashed power too long turns it into overwhelming power, dealing damage to our character over time. This downside is completely negated with the Loreley Splendor Helm, allowing us to stay in this alternate fire mode as long as possible. This is even better when you have the Catalyst, which provides a Void Overshield, scaling with the time spent in an unpowered state. We are almost always able to get a max Overshield thanks to our emergency sunspot. Pair this weapon with your special and heavy weapons of choice, with my recommendations being a Sniper to take advantage of an artifact mod, as well as a Void Heavy to double down on our Void Surges. The Encrypted Data Disk artifact is perfect for this build, with the first mod, Power from Pain, granting us Devour on defeating weakened combatants. I can't believe this is a tier 1 mod and we constantly have Devour active in the alternate fire mode of Turncoat. Press the Advantage and Armorsmith grant us a variety of buffs when breaking a combatant's shield, while Counter Energy keeps our abilities charged in activities containing champions. Singularity Blade is cool as it allows our melee hits to weaken combatants whenever we have Devour. Sniper's Meditation augments our special weapon of choice, and Void Infestation allows us to spread even more of the weakened debuff around the battlefield. The great part about this build is that there isn't too much to worry about in terms of a specific playstyle. Power yourself up with Radiant by bonking a few enemies before building up latent power using the Turncoat. Unleash this power to spread the weakened debuff, grant yourself Devour, and explode every enemy in sight. Keep an eye on your health bar as Unleash power turns into Overwhelming power, creating a Sunspot with Mini Hammer or your Barricade whenever necessary. If worse comes to worse and you take a ton of damage when in this alternate fire mode, Loreley is there to save the day, providing you with a fresh Sunspot to regroup in. The Void Overshield you gain after Overwhelming power ends should be enough to sustain you until you build another bar of latent power, and then the cycle repeats. Thank you to everyone who made it to the end of the video. I hope you all enjoy the build. Let me know if you have any suggestions to make it even better in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss my next guide. Until next time, Pixar Donks has left the building.